Hello everybody, John Craig here with Performance Plus Tennis. Welcome to today's video, and I'm going to compare the two serves of our women's US Open 2025 finalists, Aryna Sabalenka and Amanda Anisimova, and we're going to take a good look at their serves here and compare and contrast, and I'm also going to make a prediction on who I think is going to win this final. So let's go ahead and roll with it. These are videos that I took in Indian Wells earlier this year. So let's go ahead and roll with it and take a look, and you can see that as we get set up here, and Amanda's serving into the deuce court and Aryna's serving in the ad court, so this will be a little bit different, but you can see that their setups for the most part are really very quite similar. The fit positions, the body, the posture, everything looks good. They both start with their weight on the front foot, which is ideal. And when Amanda starts her serve, she shifts her weight to the back foot. Here she goes. Her hands rise a little bit, just like Aryna's actually, and then they come back down. So she's lifting her hands from a lower position to a higher position, and then she relaxes the arms here to let them just fall comfortably and create a little momentum and a little rhythm as she enters into her toss. See that? Hands come down, and then they go up. So that stage of the serve is almost identical. Aryna gets a little higher, but she does exactly the same thing. Raises the hands and relaxes the arms, and then comes down and gets her into a nice flow of movement to start her serve. And at the point of release, let's get there at the point of release, they're very, very similar, aren't they? It's amazing. In fact, you're going to find out and see here that a lot of things they do on the serve are quite similar. There's a little bit differences. After this, the ball is left the tossing hand. The ball is rising, and that's when the back foot will come up as the ball is rising. So by the time the ball gets to the top, Aryna is loaded in, and you can't even see her ball because it leaves the screen on this particular shot. But she loads that foot in just as when the ball is starting to descend. And we'll see this over here with Amanda too. Ball's left her hand. Here comes the back foot up into its position. And there she is. Now you can see the ball still in the screen here a little bit. It's just coming down and she's loaded in right there. So not a whole lot of difference. Now you can look at Aryna's head here and see that she's literally looking straight up. And that's because she's going to be hitting a kick serve out here into the ad court, where Amanda's really going to be hitting a slice serve. You're going to see that in just a moment. But their postures are very, very similar. Racket position is a little bit different. I'm going to show you something that is a difference that I see here as well that's really important to me. And you can see here that with Aryna, the side of the strings that are going to hit the ball, contact the ball, are actually facing forward, almost towards her target at this stage. And I call this an early or stagnant supination. So she's kind of turned the strings towards the target with a little bit of supination. If we compare that to Amanda, we can see that her strings are literally facing more off to the right. You can see that here. So her supination is a little delayed. And in fact, I prefer that because for players that have an early supination, they lose the action reaction that occurs when the supination is natural. And I can explain that to you a little bit more, and I'll do that. It's not extreme here with Aryna, but she is supinating a little bit early. So when she comes in, you can see she has a very early supination right there. It's very early, and the hand is kind of turned in. The strings are facing directly into her back. A lot of players do this to avoid the waiter's tray position, which is kind of the inverse and opposite of this. But you can see that her forearm has rotated in, and that's going to eliminate the action reaction that you get when the supination happens naturally and it gets to the point of no return, and it literally almost bounces out or springs out of the supinated position and creates extra power. So that's something that you'll see here with Amanda. She'll come in and her racket will literally be a little bit different position. Look at that. And in this case, her supination is going to happen right here. And that's where it reaches its maximum supination and wants to just kind of explode out of that position and then go from supination into pronation. When you supinate early, you lose that action reaction that is in here. You can see that with Aryna here. It's early. Now, she's so strong that may or may not make a big difference, okay? But she does it. Now, the other thing I want you to notice too is that you can see right here how her left hand is pulling away, and you'll notice that her palm is facing forward. Now, it wasn't always this way. This was something that Gavin McMillan worked on with her on, because when the palm faces forward, you get more shoulder power from your left arm when you pull it away. And we'll see that when she pulls her left arm away, and you can try this, on the court yourself. When the palm is facing the target and you rotate the hand from the shoulder, it creates a lot more power in the pull down. And she's able to use this power as leverage to get her shoulders to rotate in conjunction with her leg drive. Now let's take a look at Amanda's hand. See, right now her palm is facing the camera. Watch it. It will turn away right there. There's your power. Aryna turns her hand a little bit earlier than Amanda, but it really doesn't matter. What matters is that the hand gets turned before the left arm pulls away, and we can see that right there. And now we see the back of her hand, and that creates that shoulder power where you can really pull away. And when you combine that with excellent leg drive, you really get shoulder over shoulder action, and that's going to create power. Okay, so both girls do a fantastic job with their left hand here, pulling it in and tucking it, and the racket's beautifully on edge here with Amanda. Look at that, it's beautifully on edge. So her supination is a byproduct of the movement. It literally creates more power because it comes out as a natural byproduct, and there's her contact. Now, even though she's hitting a slice serve, let's take a look here. We're going to go back to contact or the line of the ball. Even though she's hitting a slice serve, look where the contact is in relation to her shoulder. So you can slice, you can hit flat slice, you can hit top spin. Everything happens inside the shoulder. We don't want to be out here in this area. Okay, you can be out there to learn the feel of a slice, but you do not want to be out there to be slicing your serve. So she cuts across this ball beautifully, and you'll see here it finds a beautiful part in the court. Before we get to that though, watch how her pronation is right there. Look at that beautiful pronation. And for those of you who follow me, you know that I talk about wrist and how the wrist really doesn't snap or play a role. And you can see right there that it's perfectly straight, isn't it? Look at the wrist. It's perfectly straight at this stage. It was perfectly straight here. It's perfectly straight right coming into this area. And all that action is from extending up through the elbow, ulnar deviation through the wrist, and then shoulder pronation right through there. Action, forearm and shoulder long axis pronation. There's her power. Now notice her racket doesn't go so far off to the right as you will see with Aryna, because Aryna, excuse me, is hitting a kick serve. So her racket is really going to go left to right. Look at it up and across the ball, and look how far out to the right her racket is compared to the flight of the ball. So she's hitting a big, big kick serve here. Another thing to notice about Aryna that's very, very important, she didn't know this before she worked with Gavin McMillan. Look where the left hand is. See that? The left hand is holding her balance because she's literally leaning off to the left. It stopped her body from moving, and it's holding her balance. And if you could push down on her left hand right now, it would resist your push and it would hold you. Okay? Really, really important. Now, let's go back again and take one more thing and look at here with Aryna's left hand. When she pulls away, you can see that the palm is facing the target, facing the target, facing the target, still facing. And then when she gets underneath right here, the hand turns and the palm is now up. Why? Because if you just experiment at home and you turn your palm up with your elbow bent, you'll feel the activation in your bicep. And that bicep activation is what's going to hold her consistently steady right here, nice and steady. That left hand is holding. Now, with Amanda, we can't quite see that. We can kind of see, but her left hand does get blocked by her body. If the camera angle was similar to Aryna's, I'm sure that we could see her left hand is holding the balance here. I've got a side view video of her as well that proves that, and her left hand is visible here as well. So those are the key things that I really see. If we just take a look at their serves from the beginning, it's amazing how they're almost the same in many ways. There is one thing that Aryna does. When she puts her foot down right here, she also drops her elbow. Watch her right elbow drop and then go up. And she has that little unique little like a hitch in her swing where she goes down and then up with her elbow, where most players don't do that little movement, but it certainly works for Aryna's serve. And let's go ahead and take a look at how clean Amanda's serve is. Very clean movement. But overall, both are great servers. So I think we're in for a really great match tomorrow. It's going to be really fun to watch. Who's going to serve better? Well, I know that Aryna's serving very well from all her training with Gavin McMillan, so I think she's going to do well. I think that Amanda's serve mechanics are excellent, so I don't expect the serves to let either player down. My pick is going to be Amanda. I think Amanda's going to pull it off because she's going to be um, under less pressure. She's not the front runner. She's not defending anything. The crowd is going to be with her. She's had a couple of great wins for sure. Recently, the Wimbledon loss to Swiatek has a long history. She doesn't think about that. So my pick is going to be, I think that Amanda's going to take it in 3 sets. What do you think? Leave your comments down below. Give me your predictions. And let's hope for a fantastic women's final today. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and I hope that this was very helpful for you to understand some of the key points that you can incorporate into your serve to improve your serve performance. And finally, if you'd like my free gift, just click on the link in the description down below. The free gift is the access to my library of lessons where I reveal to you all the fundamental principles that you need to master to achieve your full potential in tennis. Thanks so much for watching today's lesson, and leave your comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already, and give us a like. Share this video with a friend. Stick around. We've got a lot more coming here at Performance Plus Tennis, and we'll see you again soon.